the art of mental training. This is Brian Cain with the Mental Performance Daily Podcast, and today we continue my Monday Book Battalion, where I break down a book that I'm going through this week with the members of my free group coaching program that you can join in the show notes below. It's a free group coaching program brought to you by my friends at Fundraising University. And each book that we go through is a book summary brought to you by my friend Brian Johnson and the team at Heroic. It's 20-minute book summaries, one of my favorite apps that you can pick up in the show notes on a link below. Now, The Art of Mental Training by DC Gonzales references a lot of the key principles that we share in my Mental Performance Coaches certification course, as well as my 30-day athletes program. These are concepts that will be familiar to you as a member of our Mental Performance Daily podcast community. And one of the things that DC, who was one of the premier mental performance coaches, what he talks about is that the higher you go in levels of competition, the talent becomes even. Everyone has talent at the major leagues. Everyone has talent on the PGA Tour. So the ones that are going to succeed are the ones who are willing to invest into their mental performance training. When asked about losses and how do you overcome adversity, he says, the loss, you must let it go. True champions keep such a loss in perspective. He said, you must look at it long enough to learn from it, and then you must let it go. It reminds me of my first interaction with UFC Hall of Fame fighter and 10-year world champion George Rush St. Pierre. We had sat down together at an Eggs Up Grill in Montreal, and I had met him from working with one of his training partners, a guy by the name of Tom Murphy. And as the three of us sat there at breakfast, between George signing autographs of fans coming over and asking, I asked him, I said, hey, 6 weeks ago, you stepped inside of the octagon with Matt Serra. It was April 6, 2006 at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And you stepped in there as an 11-1 favorite. And you got knocked out in the first round. You lost your world title. What happened? And he went on to talk about how he underestimated his opponent. He didn't prepare as he had for other fights. And when he was in the locker room and walking to the octagon, he felt the self-doubt and a little bit of panic that comes from not being prepared. And when he went out there and he was getting tagged by this guy and getting beat by this guy, hit by this guy that was not even supposed to be in the octagon with him. Matt Serra had won a reality show to earn the chance to fight the champion. His ego got in the way. He went swinging for the fences. He got caught, and George lost at the time, which was the biggest upset in UFC history. And as we were sitting at that Eggs Up Grill, and we started to talk about the loss and what he was experiencing from that loss, one of the things that we discovered was that he hadn't yet located the black box. You see, when a plane crashes, the scientists and researchers, they go looking for the black box to find out, why did the loss happen? Why did the plane crash? What can we learn from this experience to help us get better as we move forward? And what George found was what he had mentioned. I didn't prepare the right way. I didn't have anything to go to when the self-doubt kicked in. I underestimated my opponent. I let my ego get in the way inside of the octagon, and the loss happened. And if you asked him now, he would say that that loss became the best thing that ever happened to him for his career because of what he learned from it, because of the black box that he located, which largely started that day at the Eggs Up Grill. So the loss, you have to let it go, but you must take the learning with you. You must remember that adversity is your advantage, and you have got to take your mess and make it your masterpiece. And if you're pursuing greatness, if you're trying to perform at an elite level in any arena, there's going to be messes. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be losses. There's going to be adversity. It's an unavoidable part of elite performance. But when it happens, your attitude becomes a decision. One of the biggest things I took away from George St. Pierre, referenced as well by DC Gonzales, is that you're not making sacrifices to be great. You're making decisions. So let's stop thinking about the sacrifices and what it is that we're missing. What are we missing out on? If I'm a college athlete, I'm making sacrifices to go to bed early. I'm making sacrifices to eat the right way. No, you're not. You're making decisions to be great. You're not making sacrifices to miss out on the frat parties. You're not making sacrifices to watch Netflix late at night. You're making decisions about prioritizing your health, your body, your focus, and your recovery so you can go out there and compete at an elite level. So let's stop thinking about the sacrifices that we're making and start recommitting to the decisions that we make every day, because it's your decisions and it's your actions that will determine the results that you get. Dominate the day.
Thanks for checking out Mental Performance Daily with Brian Cain. an Ironclad original. If you like the show, be sure to leave us a rating, review, and comments. We'll see you tomorrow.